Do you remember the good old days of the MCU? It seemed like 2018, 2019, Marvel was on fire. Everything was untouchable. Every movie was an event. Every character had fans invested. And every post-credit scene teased something even bigger. But today, the MCU feels different. Box office numbers are falling. Disney is scrambling to fix its mistakes. And fans are left asking, whatever happened to the good old days of Marvel? The reason why I wanted to do this video was because the MCU was peak entertainment. You had fans screaming, anticipating eagerly. You look at the Reddit pages and everybody was anticipating to see what was going on. I remember 2018 and 2019 with Endgame coming out. People were fascinated. It seemed like everybody was talking about Marvel. And I thought that Captain America would do a lot better. Take Captain America Brave New World for example. This film, which has a new Captain America, Anthony Mackie, his debut was not really that good. It opened with a strong 88.5 million over its 4-day weekend, and the momentum has significantly slowed, with a 68% drop in its second weekend. As of March 3rd, 2025, it hasn't even made enough money to break even. Even with the current projections, it's uncertain if the Brave New World will ever reach that threshold, raising concerns about the movie's financial success and, by extension, the MCU's current trajectory. In this video, I'm going to do a little bit more of a deep dive with where things went wrong and how the MCU can recover. Let's dive in. To fully understand the MCU, we really have to do a breakdown right from its beginning, how Marvel really started. So basically, the MCU started with the first movie, Iron Man, in 2008. You have a lot of financial problems with Marvel and how they had to sell their comic book movie rights to Sony. So basically, they had one last ditch effort. You had Kevin Feige, and his idea was, okay, we have some leftover superheroes from the rights we didn't sell. Each character remains significantly important to the overall plot of the Avengers. So why not do a movie celebrating each character? We have Iron Man, we have Captain America, Thor, and then we also have the Incredible Hulk. Each movie felt like a piece of the larger puzzle. Kevin Feige, the mastermind behind the MCU, had a structured roadmap leading to Infinity War and Endgame. It resulted from the slow buildup of Thanos, with hints in multiple films which kept fans engaged for years. I remember seeing Avengers, the film, in theaters. The concept of having multiple movie characters with their independent films now interacting in a larger universe was something that was incredibly fascinating, and it resonated with the audience goers. But not only that, it was the iconic characters and the perfect casting that made the MCU great. Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man. Chris Evans was Captain America. These weren't just characters, they became pop culture icons. Marvel took risks on lesser known heroes like the Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, and they became massive hits. With the perfect balance of action, comedy, and emotion, Marvel nailed the formula. Serious stakes mixed with humor and heartfelt moments. The airport battle in Civil War, Thor's arc in Ragnarok, and Tony Stark's sacrifice left a lasting impact on the MCU. The MCU turned movies into must-watch events. People want to be part of the conversation. If you missed a Marvel movie, it seemed like you were left out of the cultural moment. If you want to look at cultural impact and financial impact, take a look at the MCU. The Infinity Saga did incredible numbers, with $22 billion in gross, and Avengers Endgame being $2.8 billion at the box office. So these are incredible numbers, and people are flocking to the theaters. I mean, it is packed. So the year is 2019, and things start to go wrong. First, you have the loss of core characters and star power. Endgame ended the arcs of Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow. New heroes like Shang-Chi, Miss Marvel, And the Eternals just simply haven't connected as strongly with audiences. Even though personally I like Shang-Chi, they haven't really done anything with his plot and storyline after the movie. But me personally, I think the main reason for Marvel's failures and where things start to go wrong is its oversaturation. After Endgame, they just simply started pumping out content like it was car fenders. Before Endgame, Marvel released 2 to 3 movies per year. After Endgame, there were multiple movies, but then now you also have Disney Plus shows. WandaVision, Loki, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel. And to me, I just felt overwhelmed because there's just simply too much content to watch and none of it felt strongly connected. With the Infinity Saga, it felt like each movie was a small piece of the puzzle. But now, the excitement for each new project just doesn't simply seem as rewarding. The Infinity Saga had a clear direction and all movies built up to it. Stop Thanos. Every character that was developed, every scene worked as part of a larger narrative. But the Multiverse Saga and consequent films feels very unfocused. Kang was supposed to be this next big bad villain, but his presence has been very weak. Plus, real-life legal troubles with actor Jonathan Majors have cast doubt on Kang's future. In July 2019, Marvel Studios held a panel which discussed its post-Endgame plan. Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, and Thor Love and Thunder, as well as some smaller series such as Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, and Hawkeye. That is a lot of content, and even though there's going to be connections between the films and the series, it just simply seems like the fans weren't as invested and they had trouble keeping up with all of the content. It doesn't help that a lot of the content simply wasn't very good. Marvel started focusing more on quantity rather than quality, and it showed in some of the CGI work. I mean, have you seen She-Hulk? I don't even know what to say. It's just not a good film series, and I couldn't even watch through most of it. Reports of overworked VFX artists, rushed scripts, and last-minute reshoots damaged the final products. Marvel's biggest hits were co-produced by Sony, showing that Disney's control and excessive rewrites of scripts may be part of the problem. I personally saw Captain America Brave New World with my friends and with my wife, and I felt that the movie seemed like it had multiple storylines, but it seems like it was rewritten many times. So I felt that this overproduction of films and focus on quantity over quality has been detrimental to the Marvel brand. I think you really need to sit back and look at all the stuff you're producing and ask yourself, does it fit as part of a larger scheme? You can't just use the excuse of like a multiverse and make a whole bunch of small projects, but there's no payoff. There's no connected universe. There's no build-up or no payoff. Can Marvel recover? Of course it can, but it needs a major course correction. One, I don't even know who's even in the newest Avengers. We have all of these superheroes that we've built up, created storylines for, but I don't see how they fit in sort of the larger scheme. There's also a focus on quantity over quality, and I think that Marvel should delay some projects or focus on ones that will maximize and improve quality. Cutting down on Disney Plus shows and bringing back larger gaps between movies could rebuild excitement. We need to figure out who's going to be the superhero team that works together that made the whole franchise so rewarding and so exciting to watch. We also need to bring back some fan favorite characters, in my opinion. I think Deadpool and Wolverine is a step in the right direction with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and rumors of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans returning in Secret Wars could reignite fan interest. I also think that Marvel needs to find a reason to get fans excited again. Find them a reason to care about the next Avengers movies. And I heard that, and I actually saw that the Fantastic Four should be a great movie to watch. And it introduces Galactus, and I think that's going to be the next big bad villain for the Avengers to fight. This starts with embracing a clear, long-term vision with directors that will embrace this vision. Create a new overarching story, a new saga that engages fans over multiple years, just as they did with Infinity Saga. Each movie should build up this team with patience and purpose. Also tease future films with intentionality. Gone are the days of random post-credit scenes. Each tease should connect to the next step in the larger narrative. You have all of these random post-credit scenes and things like Eternals that never really have any payoff, and I don't know how it fits into a larger scheme. The idea here is just there needs to be more consistency. You can't just have like a multiverse, do random projects, have random directors that don't fit into the larger scheme, don't fit into the large plan. And this is relevant to business as well. In a business, you need to have a long-term, coherent vision and plan, and everybody needs to be on board. The quality of writing and visuals also needs to improve. CGI-heavy films like Quantumania received backlash for its over-reliance on visual effects, and the Marvels and Thor: Love and Thunder were criticized for weak scripts and rushed production. In order to improve the quality, there needs to be an emphasis on top-tier writers and directors, a return to practical effects, and refining the use of CGI. The MCU changed Hollywood forever, but even the biggest franchises can still stumble. Marvel still has time to fix its mistakes, but the next few years will be incredibly crucial by focusing on quality, revamping its storyline, and introducing more engaging villains through a coherent action plan and vision will help Marvel to regain its place as a dominant cinematic universe. Will they get back on track? Or has the MCU lost its magic for good? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video from BizOne.